Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Day in Film MiniCast. It is your host, the Patnator, as always, and today I have a Netflix original to talk about. But before we get into the film for today's discussion, I have to first thank you all so much for the response on the John Wick video. I know by the time I get this out, which is hopefully soon, that was not my most recent video, but I take a very long time to edit because it's summer and I'm lazy. So thank you for that response. I was absolutely not expecting it on Ballerina, of all things, but here we are. So yeah, thank you all so much for that response. It really does mean the world, and it makes me really want to keep doing these videos for you guys. It really does mean the world. I will tell you guys just a little, here's some incredibly pointless information about me. I'll flash the picture up because it's so relevant. I am editing on a very old Lenovo Idea or ThinkPad, I want to say, or IdeaPad, something like that. So the reason these videos take so long to get out is definitely laziness, one, but also just how long it takes to edit and to upload on this, let's say, not so great laptop of mine. So once we get a new laptop, I'll have 10 videos out an hour. That is a promise. Okay, with all the boring stuff out of the way, let's get into the film that you're here to hear me talk about. Today, I watched Kpop Demon Hunters, which is an awesome name, directed by Chris Appelhans and Maggie Kang. This movie is a Netflix original. It came out, as of my recording, just last Friday, so this is very fresh, and that's why I wanted to watch this movie so much. This is the first movie I've seen that I only found out about and wanted to watch through Instagram promotional material, which is a very odd compliment to give the film, but when a movie is able to hook me off 30-second long shorts, I think it's pretty impressive. I was very afraid that this movie would be like all those not-so-great films that you see next to Subway Surfers gameplay, but this movie was definitely more than that. So let's start with the directors of this, Chris Appelhans and Maggie Kang. Starting with Maggie Kang, this woman has made absolutely nothing prior to this. If you go on her, well, I'm on her Letterboxd, she was a director, actor, did the story, and the writer of this film. So she did most of the work from what I can tell, and she is definitely responsible for what makes this movie so great. So I'm very excited to see what Maggie Kang has in store for the foreseeable future. Chris Appelhans, on the other hand, is a somewhat seasoned animation filmmaker. He directed Wish Dragon as well, which came out a couple years ago in 2021. No one watched this movie, and it's definitely a YouTube Shorts movie, but that's how it is. I'm more interested, however, in his art directing credits. He was the art director for City of Embers, which is a book film adaptation or a novel adaptation. I read the book for like 10 minutes in like 5th grade and I didn't really care, but more interestingly, he is the art director for Monster House, which I know is a very popular movie that I was too baby to watch when it was fresh in the universe. So this guy knows what he's doing and has been around animation, and something tells me that his name was only attached to this film so that there would be an easier job funding it from the executives. And so thank God for that, because guys, I really liked Kpop Demon Hunters. I'm going to get it out of the way right now. I gave this movie a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very good movie. I think it does suffer a little from its more formulaic aspects. I think there are some things that you can kind of see coming from a mile away, but that's not always a bad thing. It just kind of makes for a less than ultra interesting viewing experience, which is fine. This movie is everything I wanted out of it from the promotional material that I saw. This is a very upbeat, peppy movie, and I really like that, especially for such a silly premise. I think it's really nice. I think the film is able to balance that seriousness and that goofiness very well, which I really do appreciate. This movie has an incredibly talented group of people behind it as well. I know it's very subjective. The film is very subjective, so you're here to hear my opinion, so I'm going to spout it out like it's fact, which it is. This movie had some very catchy songs, very good songs. I'm not big into Korean pop, but I will say that a lot of these songs are definitely going to be stuck in my head for a couple of days. The animation behind this movie was also incredible. I know it's kind of a generic compliment now to say it reminded me of Spider-Verse because the style is so popular now, but this movie did really remind me of that in a great way. I think this movie looks great, and I really love it. And the voice talent behind this film as well is incredible. It is a obviously mainly Korean cast. This movie is very heavily focused on the Korean, I guess, way of life and the way of a celebrity out there. I think it is very cool, and I think most importantly, this group, they're called the Hunters, they have incredible chemistry. The three main girls, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, all have a very great sense of companionship. Even when the going gets tough, you can sense that these people really love each other, which is great. And that makes the main antagonist, in quotes, Jinu, however you say his name, I felt really racist. That makes his inclusion all the more interesting because it really does have you thinking and have you reflecting on how everyone else would be handling this. And so this movie, for lack of a better summary, is just a fun movie. This is something that I was really hoping this movie would be just a good time, and that's absolutely what I got out of it. This whole movie is a good time. It's always upbeat except for those last 20 minutes, which it definitely did not need to be peppy. I'm glad it took a more serious approach. It made everything pop. And also, I think the story that it tells emotionally is a very good one. I think the moral it tries to get across, which is be you no matter what, even if a little generic, is a very good message to promote, especially for something that so many young people might be watching. You know, there's nothing to stop you from becoming a K-pop star. So, and most importantly, be yourself when you're doing it. And I really appreciated that message. I'm just very happy that this movie is as good as I thought it'd be. It did feel a little weird watching, being a grown-ass man, but I will say I enjoyed it, and I thought everything flowed very well, and I'm just very happy I enjoyed the film as much as I did. Again, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think the movie could have been maybe not a little shorter, but it did feel a little repetitive in the middle. It felt like nothing was really happening, and it was just trying to kill time so you could get to the next big thing without being below feature length, which is okay. I just wish they handled it a little better. This whole movie is just exuberant. I keep saying it's vibrant and it pops, but it really does. Like, this movie had me with a big smile on my face the whole time. I did a big smile, if you couldn't tell. That's how dedicated I am. Anyway, I've been rambling for far too long about nothing now. Random life update before I go. I just beat Silent Hill 2, the remaster, not the PS5 one, the Xbox 360 one. Awesome game. I got the In Water ending, I want to say it's called. I'm definitely going to be trying to 100% complete that game because, man, Silent Hill rocks. I don't have many more life updates though, so I'm gonna leave you be. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for sticking around. I know this channel has been through quite the whirlwind of uploading and scheduling and whatever else you want to say, but we're still here. You're still here is what really matters, so thank you all for that. With really nothing else to say, I wish you a wonderful day, and I will see you in the theaters, or in this case, on the couch in your living room with Netflix or another streaming service open. Thank you.